Hello, guys, and welcome to the FPL Duo. And we are here for the deadline stream for Blank Gameweek 26. So, without further ado, let me just adjust myself. I'm back in the frame. There we go. And yeah, here we are, guys. Obviously, there is a few matches that are going to be very important for us in terms of this Blank Game Week because there's a lot of teams that do not play, and there is going to be a lot of transfers that are going to be made in this game week due to a lot of issues. But just before we get into this, obviously Huss isn't currently here at the moment, but he is on his way. He will be joining the stream at some point, so it's just me for the current moment. But I will share you my plans and the way my team looks like for obviously deadline stream for the Blank Game Week 26. So without further ado, let's start off with how my team's lining up. So if you didn't watch the team selection, this is how it looks currently. So in goal, I've got Leno. I've got back three of Estupinian, Ake, and Gabriel, and a midfield four of Foden, Saka, Richarlison, and Gross. And the front three, we've got Haaland, Tony, and Watkins. And on the bench, we got Ariella, Branthwaite, and Palmer and Bell, who both have a blank fixture this week. So in terms of my starting 11, obviously I have a starting 10 because Richarlison is also a player that isn't going to have a game in this game week. So the priority is obviously with him because I do want a starting 11. And I think in terms of the position I'm in at the moment, I think I'm in a luxury position because I have 2 free transfers. And I know a lot of managers out there who, especially who have Liverpool assets, will be having to look at taking hits or potentially using their free hit chip if they can't make up for obviously taking a lot of players out to fund the starting 11 or starting 10. But I think in terms of talking points for my team, Estupinian, I would say, is one of them because it's uncertain with him whether he's going to start or not. And it's never too clear why Zerbi doesn't like starting Estupinian in games. It's very unusual because the ability of this player, I'll be playing him every game if I could. I know he had a bad game against Luton, but every player has their bad games. But I think there's no clear reason why Estupinian gets benched. I think it's due to tactical reasons from Zerbi. He does like to mix the team up a bit. As we saw in that last Brighton game where they won 5-0. And yeah, hopefully Estupinian does start against Everton at home and doesn't come on for like 10 minutes again. Because I feel like he missed out on that last game where he could potentially have a haul. But I am keeping the faith in him. I am playing him this week in the hopes he does start and play 90 minutes and hopefully get something out of this game because he hasn't really given us much for those who brought him in after his return from injury. So let's hope for the best for obviously Estupinian. In terms of like other such news, I'll say the big news that dropped a bomb was Højlund. When Ten Hag announced that he's out for 2 to 3 weeks, which I think is a massive blow, especially for those who brought Højlund in early, as he's the most transferred in player for this game week. So a lot of you did transfer him in early. And now, unfortunately, you might have to take him out again due to his, I believe, his muscle injury, which is short term. It's not long term injury, so that's pretty good, I think. We especially need him back for that Manchester derby against City. Hopefully, he is on the 3rd of March back. But yeah, we have to wait and see in terms of obviously that. But yeah, that's pretty much the team anyway. The starting 11 and the bench order. I could play Branthwaite if I had an option to replace a defender with, but I think because Everton play Brighton, I just think there's more upside over Estupinian he has more attacking threat if he does start, which is a very questionable thing whether he does or not for this game week. But let's just go through what my transfer plans will be going forward into this game week. It is pretty relaxing and clear of what my transfers are going to be, as I did discuss them on my on the team selection of what my plans are, and it's mostly obviously surrounding Richarlison, who doesn't have a fixture this week, and yeah, I will be replacing Richarlison, so I'll be taking him out because he is pretty expensive, 7 million, and the player I've decided to bring in for him, it was between two Wolves players, but I have decided to go for Hee-chan as the replacement. I just think there is definitely more ceiling for Chan instead of Neto for this game week. He has Sheffield at home, and I do expect goals from Wolves, and I can see him coming from Hee-chan. But I also see returns coming from Neto as well, but they're more likely going to be assists because Neto's only scored 2 goals this season, and I think he's managed 10 plus assists. So I would have liked to have both of them if I'm honest with this fixture, but I think one of them is good enough, I think. But if I could, I would love to have both of them just to have that cover in terms of Wolves assets, because that's 2 differentials that you could potentially own in your team, which could be good for your rank, especially when not many people are bringing these players in for that particular fixture. But that is my plans. Richarlison out for Hee-chan, and that's for 1 free transfer, and I'll be rolling the other one over to the next game week. Has so far so good. The plan is on track of what I want to do so far. As long as there's no injuries or hiccups, the plan is on track. So yeah, that's my transfer plans. Just clear. I think I'll do those transfers really early because there's no point in me really waiting. I'm pretty 100% sure on those decisions. But let's take a look at the comments, see who we got. So we got first comment from Hamza. He says, "Hi Jordan, free hitting thoughts on this team and what would you change?" So you got Sarr in goal, Gabriel, Sleeve, and Dello in defence, Moreno, Foden, Garnacho, Saka, and Hwang, Neto midfield, and you've got Watkins and Haaland up front. So I think in terms of transfer moves, you're in a good position because you've got Hwang and Neto. So that's pretty, you're ahead of the game there, Hamza. So you've gone with double Arsenal defence. They do have Newcastle. Whether I see a clean sheet or not, I don't know, but I do like double Arsenal regardless. Dalot, yeah, I think Dalot should be fine. Man United do play Fulham, I believe. Yeah. Yeah, I'm just checking that's right. Yeah, they do play Fulham. So yeah, there could be a clean sheet there. In terms of what I would change for that team, I mean, it looks pretty good, I might say, because apart from the Arsenal defence, they have a really tough fixture. I think you're pretty set for your team. I'm just seeing who Moreno has Aston Villa. He has Nottingham Forest. So again, yeah, that's a nice fixture for Aston Villa. Nottingham Forest have received a lot of goals this season, and there could be a clean sheet or maybe an attacker returning there for Moreno. But in terms of what you could change in that team, I think it's pretty fine, if I'm honest. I don't think necessarily need to do any changes to that team. I'm happy with double Arsenal. You got Delot, who is Man United asset, nice differential. I mean, the way Man United are playing at the moment, they're playing more convincingly. So I think Delot is fine for this week. And Mourinho has a good fixture. Foden, Bournemouth away. Nice one. Should start. Garnacho, he'll be important this game week, I think, because of obviously the injury to Højlund. Could provide Garnacho with more attacking threat. So I think I'm fine with him. Saka, no questioning why we shouldn't not play him. Hwang and Neto, perfect. Watkins hard. I don't think you need to do any changes, if I'm honest, Hamza, in terms of your free hit. I think that's pretty good. I mean, in terms of your free hit, maybe potentially look for a Bournemouth player. They do have a double coming up in 28, I believe. So, or Luton player as well. You could go for a cheap Doughty if you're long-term moves, either Luton or Bournemouth player. But I think for this game week, your free hit looks pretty good. And a comment from Jenny Bev says, "Hi Jordan, who would you captain, Odegaard or Alvarez?" I think I'll look to go towards. Oh, that's a tough one because depending on how Newcastle play, they do not look great at the back at the moment. Ooh, tough one. You know, I'll go for an Odegaard captain. I think Alvarez is equally as good as a captain pick, but I think because Arsenal have Newcastle, it's going to be hard to expect what how Newcastle are going to handle Arsenal in that game. So Odegaard is a nice captain pick. I think is great. Alvarez is equally as good as well because we know how great he's been this season. Pep has also played him in a lot of games. It's more than we thought he would, but I think I'll be going captain Odegaard. And we've got a comment from Harry Davis. Hi, Jordan. Hope you're well. Same to you, Harry. Hope you're doing great on this Saturday afternoon. I've had to make a transfer to Tony since Hoyland got injured. Yeah, I was just speaking about that at the start of the stream. It is such an unfortunate thing to happen because if I check actually how many transfers Hoyland has had this week, it's pretty a massive blow to obviously managers. Well, he was the most transferred in player now. He's now the fifth most transferred in due to his injury, but 410 of you transferred in Hoyland. So that's a massive blow, especially when he got that muscle injury and won't be back for the next, say, 3 matches. So, yeah, that's a huge blow, Harry. But the transfer to Tony, I think that's really good. Tony has West Ham. West Ham don't look great at all in these few games. And I think that's a great opportunity to play Tony for that fixture. He is, I think, hopefully, he's going to have a great game. Tony. He scored against Liverpool, which that gives me a bit of positivity going forward into this West Ham game. Even though it's an away fixture for Tony, I think it's great. 10.9% owned as well. He's still low owned, just above that differential mark, but I quite like him as a pick in replace for obviously Hoyden. Got Roman Jarvis. He says, "Hi lads." Yeah, yeah. In terms of Huss, he will be joining this stream hopefully very soon. He is caught up at the moment, but it will hopefully be for this deadline stream. But hopefully you're well, Roman. And you're welcome, Jenny. Hopefully, good luck as well for that captain pick. But yeah, pretty much is going to be. Obviously, there's a lot of players in terms of premiums that blank this week. You got Salah, who blanks. You got Palmer as well, even though he's not a premium, but a very highly owned player. There's a lot of highly owned players that do blank, which I think will be a comfort to us as we don't have to worry about the threats. I think in our team, there's not many threats to really be wary of in terms of this blank game week, unless you're going against Haaland, of course. And got a comment from SJ says, "Hi SJ, hopefully you're having a nice Saturday morning or evening." But yeah, I think let's go back to my original team so you guys can have a look. So I'd say I'm pretty fairly happy with my team. Not really much to really complain about. Apart from Estepinian, that's the only really the question mark over him. Ideally, I wouldn't want to. I don't know how many chances I'm willing to give Estepinian in my team, but eventually, if I don't see Zerbi playing him more, giving him more minutes in games, then he could be on his way out. But the way my plan is set up long term, I can't really get rid of him at the moment. So I'm in a position where I'm hoping he can get something back from me while I still have him. Because I will be annoyed if I get rid of him and then he decides to play Estepinian more and he starts getting returns and it backfires on me. But I'm really hoping he plays for this game. I mean, he only played 10 minutes last game. So surely now Zerbi plays him for this Everton at home fixture. I think it's going to be great as well because I hear Matoma potentially is out for that game as well. So that provides Gross as well with more attacking options up front again. Whereas when we saw him when Matoma was away in Asia Cup, Gross was fired on all cylinders, getting 2 double hauls back to back in weeks, and just comes off of an 8-pointer as well, even with Matoma's return back into the game. But in terms of, let's go to comments again. Roman Jarvis says, I could do 2 things, either Robertson out or do a midfielder in Richarlison or Palmer out. Which could you do? I most likely would go with a midfielder pick this week. As long as you have a replacement option for Robertson in terms of defence that will start, I think I would either decide to take out Richarlison or Palmer. I think for me, it's got to be Richarlison because even when Palmer returns back after his blank, I still think he's still going to be a great asset to own. So I'll be afraid to actually go against Palmer over Richarlison because now that Son's back in the team, I think Richarlison's returns and that have dwindled a bit. So he's had back-to-back blanks since Son has returned, which is, I wouldn't say it's a coincidence. I think that's just literally there's chances of being split now between Son and Richarlison. So in terms of Palmer, there's not really any option. Chelsea will have a double game week as well. It isn't confirmed yet, but they definitely will later down the line. So, and Palmer has a lot of money saved up. You have a lot of money invested in Palmer if you bought him in early. So it's if you do bring him back, he's more expensive. So I'd like to keep Palmer in, and I'll probably take out Richarlison out because that's what I'm doing this week. I'm taking out Richarlison. I just think after now that Son's back, I feel like seeing how Son gets on, he could be the other option to go for instead of obviously another Spurs midfielder. So yeah, I would say take out Richarlison Roman this week and keep Palmer after his blank. And yeah, you're in the same boat as me as an Estepinian owner. It is frustrating, I think, owning him at this current moment because especially last game week where Brighton actually got their their third clean sheet of the season, and Estepinian wasn't a part of it. That was really a kick in the teeth for that because we know how rare clean sheets are for Brighton, and it was a shame that Estepinian missed out on that because that would have been a real help, I think, for us. But you have got bigger problems in the team. But when I don't, he's probably going. Yeah, I don't really have bigger problems in my team, but I just have a set plan where it doesn't involve Estepinian taking Estepinian out of my team. And I really want to stick to this plan because it does mean this plan means I have to get Salah in as soon as this blank game week's over. So if I decide to take Estepinian out now, it is going to affect my plans of bringing in Salah later down the line. And also bringing in Bournemouth and Luton attackers as well for the double in 28. So in terms of the long-term plan, I'm in a position where I have to keep Estepinian and hoping he gets more minutes in games and Zerbi decides to play him more. But yeah, he is probably going to go. I don't know when he is for me, but it will be very soon as possible if I don't see him getting many minutes. But yeah, I mean, this deadline is moving quick. We're in 25 minutes into it, so there's only 35 minutes left. So just over a half an hour left for the deadline. But in terms of transfer plans, again, it's very simple this week. There's no headaches, honestly. But it is, yeah. Let me just restore. So yeah, the focus is taken out Richarlison out. I mean, in terms of Spurs' fixtures, though, after the blank, they do have Crystal Palace at home, which looks really good. Especially when obviously the manager has decided to resign as well. So I don't know what situation Crystal Palace will be in for that game. But I think it's a good fixture if you do decide to bring maybe Richarlison back or even Son. maybe Son comes back into the teams, but he is expensive at 10 plus million. But yeah, in terms of fixtures, Spurs' fixtures aren't so bad. You could look to a Spurs asset, but for me, I will be taking him out personally. And I think I will do that. I'll do the moves very soon, I think, because I'm pretty confident with that. Roman says replacement for Robbo is currently SGP. I'm not 100% convinced on him to start. Who would you do Richarlison for? I already got Hwang in. Maybe upon Odegaard for a few weeks until Son or Salah is back. Yeah, I mean, yeah, the replacement for Robbo is not 100% confirmed with that. Annoyingly, because that would have been great for a replacement for him. Who would I do Richarlison for? Who would you do Richarlison for? I'm just looking at the options available in terms of that. Because there aren't many to go for this week. I mean, you could go for a Douglas Luiz for this week. He is on penalties. He's 5.5 million, so he's really cheap and just over 10% owned as well. And he did get a 10-pointer against Man United in game week 24, where he got the goal as well. He is on penalties, so I guess he's more valuable in terms of he's on penalties over Watkins. So he could be a second pick to go for in terms of a replacement for Richarlison. If you're looking to go for a punt, or you could even do Neto if you really want to go gun ho on Wolves as well and have Neto and Hwang in your team, because I feel like they're going to score big against Sheffield United at home this week. But you could go for Odegaard as well. He's another great pick. I think a lot of people are talking about Odegaard, especially when they have Newcastle. And Odegaard comes off of a 14-pointer, scoring the goal and assist against Burnley in that 5-0 win. So, yeah, that could be another option. Yeah, Odegaard or Douglas Luiz, whichever one, or Neto. I'll say one of those three would be good for the few weeks. And it's until Son or Salah is back. So, yeah, that goes really well. Going for a cheap midfielder, then you have enough money to bring Salah in to your team. And I got a comment from Jenny Berry. Says, do you think Ake might start? Well, he didn't play the second fixture in double game week 25, which was against Brentford. So, yeah, I think he should start. He's had a good rest for that blank. So, yeah, I think he should start. I'm hoping he starts because I'm an Ake owner and I've only got Brentford as a replacement. So, yeah, I think he should start, Jenny. But make sure you have a replacement just in case he doesn't. And Yash says best defender to buy. In terms of best defender to buy, in terms of a long-term pick, in terms of best defender to buy, I think it's a tough one, really. But I think it's, if you don't have him already, Gabriel. That was a long-term pick. I think he's been really good in terms of not just keeping clean sheets, but also getting attacking returns as well. Well, so far this season, he's had 3 goals and 1 assist, but where they've come into, they've been really good for Arsenal. And in terms of clean sheets as well, I think Arsenal are the most convincing so far, and in the hopes of getting a clean sheet against other teams in the Premier League. So I think Gabriel long term is a good long term pick, especially with Arsenal in the title race as well. I think it's going to be any Arsenal asset is going to be really important to carry on forward. But yeah, I don't think there's any other defender I would go for. I mean, Senesi would be great for double game at 28, and Doughty as well for game at 28 as well would be a good defender to buy long term because you have them already set for those fixtures in 2 weeks' time. But yeah, I think Gabriel, if you don't have him already, is the best defender to buy. And we've got a comment from Jake. Says, all right. Who do you think I should captain, Haaland or Huang? Now, I have been tempted, slight temptation for this because I have thought about captaining Huang, but I don't know if I'm brave enough to go there with that captain pick. But I think I would go for Huang if I wasn't in a position where my overall rank is hovering around 100k. I think if I was less high in terms of rank, I would be more tempted just to catch up, I think, and go for Huang. So I think if you're in a position where you're not really satisfied with your rank, you need to get higher. I think going with Huang as a captain pick this week would be really great. You've got one of the best fixtures against Sheffield United at home, so surely you see a nice return for him in that game. But yeah, I think you should captain Huang, Jake. It's a bit more exciting than going for Captain Haaland, especially. And you're welcome again, Jenny. Comment from Pedro Silva. It says best two options between Garnacho, Gross, or Garnacho and Huang. I think I'll go for. That's a tough one. I think I'll go for Garnacho and Huang, just the basis on this week, because Huang has a nice fixture against Sheffield. Garnacho, I think, will get more, obviously, more attack with Højlund being out as well for Man United. So, favourably, those two. Fulham have conceded a lot of goals, and one of the teams that have conceded a lot of goals this season. So, being a Man United asset, which got Fulham, is great. The way the Man United are playing at the moment, I've seen much improvement, more convincing improvement as well. And Garnacho is maturing well in the team. And Huang is a nice fixture, so he is a hard pick though, because Gross is also a great pick. But I think if you haven't got Gross in now, it's a bit late because you have missed out on a lot of his points. So I think I'll go with Garnacho and Huang and hopefully catch the boat early on. Obviously, Huang, if he does do well against Sheffield United at home. And we'll comment from Neil, says good luck today. Yeah, all the best to you, Neil. Hopefully, you have a nice team set up for this blank game week, as a lot of us will be taking a lot of hits, especially with Liverpool assets in there. Another comment from Cyan says sell Porro for -4 to Saliba and bench Taylor or just play Taylor. Well, let's have a look at who Taylor is playing, and we can deliberate on that. Taylor has Crystal Palace away. Now that does look like a nice fixture in terms for Charlie Taylor, but I don't see a clean sheet in there for Burnley. So I think what I would do in that case, I'd do a -4 to Saliba and bench Taylor. Yeah, I think I'd sell Porro. Porro's out injured, so as well as having a blank. So I think I'd want Saliba in because you'll have him long term as well. So he is a long term replacement. And then I'll probably bench Taylor for this week. And Pedro Silva, best two options: Rashford, Garnacho, Gross, or Huang. I'll probably go for Gross as one of the best ones, and Huang. I'll go with Gross and Huang, I think. as much as I've seen improvement from Man United and seeing a lot more action from them, more consistency, I think for this, what I've seen in terms of matches though, Gross and Hwang have seen a lot more in terms of action, possession, etc. And for this week as well, they have nice fixtures too. But again, Man United could surprise us as well, especially with Hoyland out. Garnacho could have a really good game, but I think the two best options I would go for me is Gross and Hwang. Edinburgh FC is going for Odegaard worth it. Feel like the Porto match might change Arsenal's momentum. I mean, yeah, they did play really poor in that Porto game, but if anything, that should boost them with more confidence and obviously have a positive mentality on as like a reminder to say we can't sleep on this. We got to keep going, and we can't let this affect our performances in the Premier League. So, yeah, I think Arsenal will be more, obviously, more confident and positive going forward into this Newcastle game, even though that Porto match didn't go the way it was planned. Yeah, I still see the momentum going for Arsenal, if I'm honest, as Arteta would not want them to obviously throw it away now, especially when they're in a good position in the title race. Plus, they've still got that second leg against Porto, where they got to play in the Emirates, so that's going to be a very interesting game. That should be a game where Arsenal should improve more than when they did play against Porto in their stadium. Do you think Estepinian will start today? Any elite team news? I haven't seen any elite team news yet on whether Estepinian will start or not, but we'll keep up to date in that case there is. In theory, should start. I mean, I'll be very shocked if he doesn't again today. Be very shocked. Arguably, I'll say Estepinian is one of the best wing backs when he is obviously starting matches consistently. But when he's not been playing consistently, he will get the on and off games for him. But yeah, I'm hoping he will start today. I really do, because the Everton game could be a good game for him. A confidence booster. Got a comment from Barte who says transfer Palmer out for Sarabia on a free transfer. I own Hwang and not convinced he's favourite for pens. I mean, yeah, it is a debatable one whether he's favourite for pens. I still think he is. I still think Hwang is for pens, but I do see the predicament whether he's. We have to wait and see if there is a penalty and see who takes it for that one, and I think that will be the answer to that question. But interesting, he transferred out Palmer for Sarabia. I think I wouldn't want to keep Palmer. And if I'm honest, you already have Hwang as well. I think Hwang is good enough cover in terms of this match. But yeah, without further. Yeah, I think as time's getting on, we have 20 minutes left. I will obviously do my live transfers for this week. So Richarlison is out of the team, and I'm going to bring Hwang or Hee-chan. So there he is, and let me just confirm that. So that's all done and dusted. So Richarlison out and Hwang in for 1 free transfer. So I'll just confirm that for you guys. So there you go. And let me just switch over to the other screen and I'll show you our teamlets. So yeah, here you go, guys. Hwang is in the team, and I believe that's what I'm lining up with, obviously, for this game week. In the hopes that Jupinan does start, I'm happy with the rest of the team and what their fixtures are involving. So yeah, I'm quite happy with that. Hopefully Ake should start, so I'll keep him in there just in case. But even if he doesn't, I have Brentford on the bench as a replacement. But there should be no reason why he shouldn't start. Harden is the captain pick, and Tony's the vice for this week. So my team is locked in and ready for this blank game week. Hopefully, it's a good one for all of us. But just a little reminder, guys, make sure you obviously give a like for this video. Leave a comment in the comment section if you wish, and obviously subscribe. Tell your friends who also may play fantasy football. Get them engaged, and yeah, hopefully you enjoy the content we provide. I just had an update from obviously Huss. He will be in 5 minutes arriving, so hopefully he's here just before the deadline does in fact end as well. And a comment from Hamza says, quick one. Shall I scrap the Arsenal defence and buy Ake for Gabriel? Scrap the Arsenal defence and buy Ake for Gabriel. No, I don't think you should, really. I think Gabriel is going to be a great asset for that game. In terms of aerial threat, Arsenal get a lot of corners in that game, which I feel like they will, due to Newcastle's defence being really poor. Could see Gabriel getting maybe a header or a goal in that game. So I think I'll be playing Gabriel for this week, even though it's a tough fixture. It looks tough, but I don't trust Newcastle's defence. So I think for me, I'm playing Gabriel, and I wouldn't buy Ake for this week. Even though there might be a clean sheet in there for Man City, they still find a way to concede. I'm not too sold on the Man City defender. I only bought one in because of obviously the double they had, and that didn't really pay off on that double. But yeah, I think keep obviously Gabriel. And double Arsenal defense. Sorry, that was the typo. Yeah, you can go double Arsenal defense. I think it'd be really good go for double Arsenal defense. Ruling out a clean sheet, I don't think so. I think there is a possibility of one. And Ake does start. Okay, that's good news. Thank you, Amzal, for that. So Ake owners will be very happy with that. It would be nice to hear if Estupinian starts or not, though, because that is the question mark over this game week. If anyone else knows or has any information about Estupinian in terms of any leaks, then happily put it in the chat. Ali Max says, favorite question, John. Which player that you don't have do you fear? In terms of this week, a player that I don't have that I fear. There aren't many because a lot of them are blanking this week. So I think if I had to go for someone that I fear, it would probably be, I think, Solanke, if I'm honest. But he has Man City, so I don't see him getting a high ceiling in that game. But he is a player that I don't know, he could surprise us with something. In terms of other players in the squads, really one that stands out for me. I mean, Trippier could be one that I fear as well, but at 41% ownership. But he has got Arsenal. Again, it's a tough fixture. But a lot of these players have tough games this week that are relatively high owned that I don't have. But yeah, it'd probably be Solanke for me that I fear the most. Even though he has Man City, that would be the player that I don't own that I fear. Another comment from Ultra Red says, is Bradley a good punt for backup defender? Yeah, I think he is. Bradley's shown that he's really good, especially coming back from his absence. He looked really good in that game against Brentford. And with Trent still out as well, I think he is a really good punt. He's low owned too, so not many people have gone with him. So I think he's an excellent backup defender. He's cheap as well. So you're getting a lot of money for a good quality player. Roman Jarvis says, bringing Neto to double up on Wolves for Sheffield this week, or bringing Odegaard to double up for the Sheffield game next game week. Oh, yes, that's an interesting one. So you already have Hwang already, I assume. So could afford to go without Neto. I mean, this week, I think one Sheffield player is good enough cover, and yeah, you could bring in Odegaard to double up on the Sheffield game next game week. I think, yeah, I think looking at it long term, that's a pretty good move. We've already got Hwang for Sheffield this week, so it makes sense to bring in Odegaard for next week when he has a Sheffield game. So yeah, I think those moves, I think I would go for that, Roman. Ultra Resist, is Tony reliable at the moment? Yeah, I think he is reliable at the moment. He might have the odd blank here and there in terms of his games, but Tony is a hot and cold player, and he did miss a big chance against Man City on the 1-on-1 with the goalkeeper. I mean, understandably, you could question his reliability there. But yeah, I think Tony against West Ham this game week is really good, as a lot of people won't have, obviously, Tony as an asset. So I think he's reliable, honestly. Coming from Roman Jarvis, they both have Newcastle and Sheffield just swapped if the other fixtures matters. Right, I see. I mean, yeah, both have Newcastle and Sheffield, and are both teams that don't have really good defensive records at the moment. So yeah, I mean, the other fixtures don't really matter, I suppose, if they are both playing one and the other. I suppose it just matters which way you play it. But no, I mean, either way, if you bring in Odegaard this week and just have Hwang for Sheffield, that's fine. But even the other way, when you bring in Odegaard and obviously not Neto, then yeah, I think that doesn't really matter really. As long as those players return in those fixture windows that you decide to bring them in for, then it should all really count. Ultra says, to be honest, I think Bradley is more attacking than Trent. I mean, arguably, yeah. I think Hustle put up a good, argument against this. But yeah, I mean, yeah, Bradley has shown a lot of attack in the position, and he does similarly play like Trent as well. So yeah, I think you have seen Bradley take a few shots as well at goal, and yeah, I mean, the way where I've seen Bradley play in games, yeah, he could be a rival for Trent's attack. Another comment from Rez. It says Fulham forward Muniz, I think, is attempting at 4.4 million. Yeah, I mean, in terms of, I don't really look at a Fulham asset, if I'm honest. But I mean, if you see like a hidden gem in there, Rez, then if your gut is telling you to go with this player, go with your gut. If it's tempting you, then definitely do it. Which option is better currently for points, Solanke or Tony? I think this week in terms of Solanke has Man City, so I don't really see him getting as much points as Tony, who has West Ham, and West Ham have conceded a lot of goals to teams in recent games. So I think I put my money on Tony, I think, for this week, and as well as obviously Tony being on, well, they're both on penalties as well. I just think I can see Tony scoring more, getting more points over this game week. So yeah, I think I've got Tony myself. I haven't got Solanke, so I'm hoping Tony outscores him. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I think just before the deadline is up, I'll switch to the community draft quickly because we do have 10 minutes left. And we'll see how obviously the team has done and how we're obviously getting on. And hopefully Huss will be here shortly before the deadline ends. Otherwise, if he doesn't turn up, he will tweet out on Twitter. So make sure you keep a lookout for our Twitter it is in the description, our social media, the links, and it's also in the overlay above the screen. So make sure you follow those guys to stay tuned in any updates we post on our social media. But without further ado, let me just check how the team has done. But bear with me, guys, for a moment while I log in. Hopefully, you've done all your moves. And I haven't seen many hits being taken in the chat. Let us know in the comments if you've decided to obviously take some hits for this game, because I know a lot of you will be obviously taking the hits and whatnot, especially with Liverpool assets. I think they really backfired in that double game week, and that kind of worked in our favour for non-Liverpool owners in that sense as well. Now, for some reason, I always have trouble re-logging in to fantasy accounts. I don't know what it is. It just doesn't like me. But bear with me, guys. I will try and get into the community draft as best I can. It's just been very annoying at the moment. Yeah, it's been very annoying at the moment. You have 10 minutes though, still, to hang in to this. So hopefully I could get it done in time. Doesn't want to cooperate with me at all. It doesn't want to work. It does not want to work, guys. I'm sorry for this. It always have issues with this. The community team login. That's very annoying. But yeah, guys, I can't log into this, unfortunately. I don't know what it is when I log out my main account. It's some reason it doesn't want to let me in the other account shortly afterwards. I don't know if that's down to an issue or whatnot, but I will report the issue and see what can be done with it. It's just sometimes I can log in straight back afterwards, and other times I can't when I've signed out. But yeah, it's quite annoying because sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But I have to have a look at it and see what I can do to fix that. But I'll take a few comments. Apologies, guys, for the community draft. Hopefully, it could be sorted next game week. So you got comments about Ultra who says SG Pinyan is a very risky option. Yes, he is. It's because we never know when he's going to start or not. And Zerbi always has a very tactical mindset when it comes to playing him or not in games. I feel like he prefers him as like a backup now rather than a starter, which I think in the performances form I've seen Estupiñán in the past, I'm very surprised. Zerbi's not playing him more, even though he hasn't been great in some games. But I think that's a bit of more confidence of him, obviously being more featured on the bench than he is playing a lot of minutes. John says, who would you prefer, Bruno Fernandes or Pascal Gross? I think for this week, I prefer Gross. He's got Everton at home. I know Fernandes could be in the eye line in terms of Fulham as well. And Bruno Fernandes in the past has been a great asset to own for Man United when they have been convincing. And also, obviously, on penalties too. But I think I prefer Pascal Gross for this game week. Jenny Bay says, have a great week, everyone. Yeah, have a great week as well. Have good luck. And hopefully your team does well as well. Roman Java says, took a -4. Jota and Charlton out, Hwang and Odegaard in. I think that's a great -4. Because obviously they're both blank, and Hwang and Odegaard have both arguably good fixtures. And they should hopefully both return for you, Roman Java, to make up for that -4. Sarr and Marino or Martinez and Kilman? I'll go for Martinez and Kilman just because of I wouldn't be changing a goalkeeper. I think I'll keep my goalkeeper the way it is at the moment and go for Martinez and Kilman for this week. Red says, do you think Palmer's honeymoon period of points is over? No, I don't think it is. I think it will. They will come back because Chelsea without Palmer, they don't look great at all. And I think with Palmer in that Chelsea squad, he's really the main man for him. He's been getting the goals. I know most of them are been penalties, but they are still goals. He's scoring them. So he has been helping out the team a lot in terms of Chelsea's results, because without him, I don't think Chelsea would be in the position they are at the moment and be in more of a worse situation. So, yeah, I think after that Palmer blank, we're all going to be reluctant for those who have taken him out that probably we're going to bring him back in again. But we'll have to wait and see with that. Hopefully, it doesn't affect his performances after his game. Ultra Rares, De Zerbi is, yeah, I do agree with this comment actually. Yeah, Zerbi is worse, I think, at the moment for Pep Roulette because you can't tell who will play. Because you've got Ferguson, you don't know who's going to play between him and João Pedro. You've got Lamptey as well that may rotate with Estupiñán or other defenders for Brighton. I think Duncan's really the only one that's nailed in that in terms of defensive positions. In the midfield, I think he's fine with Gross. Matoma, obviously, they're both great in terms of nailed, but the rest of the midfield is a guess, a roll of the dice. So, yeah, it's annoying as it is. Zerbi is very unpredictable with his tactical plays in games, but I suppose that's how managers are. They do like to mix it up a bit, but if in terms of FPL, it's a real headache knowing who's going to start or who's going to play. Kaka says, Odegaard, Douglas Luiz, or Saliba? I'll be going with Odegaard this week. He has Newcastle, so yeah, I'll have to see how he does with that. Are you a neutral fan? No, I do support Man United. I'm a Man United fan, but yeah, I'm a Man United fan. Huss is a Liverpool fan as well, so a good rivalry there between the two. And Palmer struggled to get points without pens. Yeah, he has struggled to get points without pens. Like I said, most of his goals have come from penalties and rather than open play. You could say that's a bit of fortune, but again, when he has been rewarded with these penalties, he has put them behind the net. So he is still clinical, especially at his age and the experience he's had just joining Chelsea too, as he didn't start from obviously just straight away with the move from Man City to Chelsea. So I think in terms of if you do want a Chelsea asset, I wouldn't be looking anywhere else apart from Palmer. And at the time, he was cheap as well in terms of value. I think even with after the blank, I still see results coming from Palmer, whether they're penalties or not. I just think, yeah, he's an asset like is hard to replace in your team. I feel for you, mate. Yeah, I mean, it is an annoying thing. It's that high intensive training, though. I think Ten Hag mentioned it about Hoyland. When you're playing that high intense football, you will sustain injuries as well in the team. I think that's similar to Liverpool as well. They're suffering from a lot of injuries due to the intensive play in games as well. But it is a major blow, especially the form Hoyland was on, breaking the record as well, the youngest player to score consistently. So yeah, I think it's quite annoying because I've liked the look of Man United so far, but hopefully that stays the same going forward. Roman Jarvis says, how many Bournemouth are you looking at the double? Well, I'm actually looking at 2 for the double. I'm looking at Senesi and Solanke as the both of them. I haven't really looked at any other Bournemouth assets really, apart from those 2. But they are the ones that have brought my eye to attention, I think, in terms of the double, and it's the 2 I'm deciding to bring in for the double as well, in terms of if the plan up to that point goes well for me. And yeah, you're also looking at 2. Let me know if it's the 2 I've mentioned, Solanke and Senesi as well, Roman. Gusto is a good asset still, 4.1 only. Yeah, I just don't trust Chelsea to keep a clean sheet. That's the only thing. No, that is the only thing. It's the clean sheets. I don't really. If I see more clinical defensive work from the Chelsea asset in defence, then yeah, I could be one to go for in the double that Chelsea will have down the line. But yeah, we have to wait and see. Obviously with Gusto, especially with Reece James out again, and it is really Gusto in that position. So I suppose that's good in a sense as well. And I was going to gamble on Hoyne this week, but he got injured. Yeah, I mean, 410,000 people this week gambled on Hoyne and playing this week, and unfortunately got injured after they brought him in. So, bit of a kick in the teeth. But it does show again, don't do your transfers so early, just in case of something pops up like that. Because this is an example of, obviously, it's a transfer that you now need to consider taking him out again, or potentially benching him for. But it is short term. Should be out for 2 or 3 weeks. Ten Hag did say so. Fortunately, it's not long term injury. Roman Jarvis says Senesi is a good shout. To be honest, I was looking at a goalkeeper there because Dubravka is useless. Yeah, Senesi is a good shout. He does have attacking threat as well, which I do like. I think for that double when they have Sheffield and Fulham, both home fixtures, could be one where Senesi could pull out maybe a goal and assist from one or the other, because they will play a high line Bournemouth in both of those fixtures. So I think Senesi is a really good pick for that one. And got a comment from Rez says Gusto can produce points from assists, but Jackson doesn't know how to finish. Yeah, Jackson's still finding his shooting boots, I think, in Premier League. Hasn't really come to him yet. I think it will come to him very soon. He's just got to find his feet in the Premier League. It's much different football to where he's playing before. So I think give him time, Jackson. I don't think he's an FPL asset at the moment, but maybe in the future he does become one. He's just got to find more confidence, I think, in his finishing and keeping the ball at his feet as well. But yeah, Gusto can produce points from assists. He has done it before the season, even last season as well. So yeah, totally agree. Yeah, if you had him on early as well, Jackson was not the one to have. I think I did have him as well between that time, actually, as well. And it did destroy him ranking a bit. But I think a lot of us did have Chelsea assets like that at the time, because after that Luton game, it looked pretty promising for Chelsea. And final comment from Rez, and Kukun is also not having minutes to play. Yeah, again, from his injuries, he's been eased back into the team, I think, as well, and managing minutes too. But again, he's another player that hasn't really played much football in the Premier League and needs to just to get in the rhythm of things as well. With all the other Liverpool, Chelsea players, sorry, they need to just get a good team together and hopefully do well as a squad. And the final comment from Linus, who says, "I'm doing KDB to Son as soon as the game reloads. Fed up of him now." Yeah, that KDB transfer is one of the most unfortunate things to happen in that double in 25. It was a bit of a unfortunate the way it happened. I mean, it could have been another story where KDB could have been really good and we're keeping him. But yeah, Son is going to be an interesting one as well after their blank, whether Spurs, if he gets back on the goals as well. I think in terms of that, guys, we're going to wrap up here. It is 6 minutes after the deadline has obviously ended. So yeah, it's been a lovely stream, guys. Thank you, obviously, all for watching as well. It's been very good actually in terms of the chat. It's been very active. But yeah, without ado, unfortunately, Huss didn't make it, but I'm sure his team and his plans will be tweeted out, obviously on Twitter. So keep in mind for that, and he should be back for the next stream in the knee-jerk reaction too. All right, without further ado, let me wrap it up there. I think thank you guys for watching. Take care, and we'll see you in the knee-jerk reaction to see how your team is done. But good luck for this week, and hopefully get green arrows and have a very relaxing, nice time watching the football. So take care, guys, and see you very soon.